Hello friends, how you guys are doing? Doing good or great? I hope you are utilizing your time very well. This video will show you the real application of engineering. I guess all of you are technical students as you have subscribed to this channel. So some of you might have wondered in your academics, is it going to be useful in your future? What you are learning in the technical subjects from mechanical, electrical or from any other trades, is it really going to be useful for you? And the answer is yes. Since I am working for this organization, I thought that this will act as a motivation and bring some clarity in your life. Allow me to show you one of the great example of combination of all the engineering trade applications, the WDM3D Locomotive of Indian Railways. So come with me and explore the details of this locomotive. Only thing you have to do is watch this video till the end. But before starting, I would like to give the special thanks to our Diesel Chief Said Anwar sir, Professor S.K. Pathak sir and remaining diesel faculties of Zonal Railway Training Institute Bhusawal, who gave us the training of this locomotive. One disclaimer is here, it is not feasible to talk about all the parts of this locomotive, hence we will see only main parts location, which are important. Okay, without wasting any more time, let's proceed to the video. WDM3D. What it means is, Indian Railway uses three types of track gauges, narrow gauge, meter gauge and mostly used broad gauge, also known as wide gauge. So W means wide gauge on which this loco could run. D means type of fuel it uses, diesel in this case. M means mixed service, can be coupled with passenger as well as goods train. Term 3D is showing the horsepower of this locomotive, which is 3300 HP. The maximum speed of this locomotive is 120 kmph. So this was the basic introduction to this locomotive. Let's go deep into its parts and layout. This locomotive has a single cab by which we can move in both the directions. The one end which is near to the locopilot cab, known as short hood, while the other end known as long hood. This locomotive has total 8 compartments, starting from short hood. First one is nose compartment, next obviously locopilot cab, then control compartment, then alternator room, next big one is engine room, then compressor room, followed by radiator room. So these are the 7 compartments on superstructure. We will see 8th undertruck later on in this video. Now, if you are standing inside the locopilot cab and looking towards the short hood side, then your left side will become loco left side and your right side will become loco right side. While if you are standing inside the locopilot cab but looking towards the long hood side, then your left side will become engine left side and your right side will become engine right side. We will see this engine left and engine right side again later on in this video. Here don't get confused with the terms engine and loco. Engine is only a part of this locomotive, which is kept in the engine room, but the term locomotive refers to this whole WDM3D locomotive. Let's start with the main parts of nose compartment. A battery knife switch is there, known as BS. Just like in 4-wheeler car, battery supply is given to the starting motor and then starting motor will crank the engine first time and afterwards engine starts running automatically. Similarly, here also, when we turn on the BS, the 64 volts lead acid battery supply goes to the entire equipments of the control circuit which runs on the battery, and after performing the starting procedure, engine starts cranking. A big braking panel is there containing all the cocks and valves like Pauna inch cock, also known as BP charging cock, which is used for isolating the brake pipe, and Sawa inch cock, which is used for isolating the feed pipe. Both these cocks should be kept open always in order to get the braking in the train. A control reservoir is also there to operate the valves and contactors. A BKBL motor, known as dynamic braking blower motor, is installed on the rooftop of nose compartment, whose function is to cool down the braking grids. Here what happens in dynamic braking is, we are taking the advantage of down gradient area, where we convert our DC traction motors into generators, and the generated electricity is dissipated in form of heat through these two grids. By doing this dynamic braking, we are achieving very smooth braking and less fuel consumption. This is one of the 10 electrical rotating machines of this locomotive. We will see all of them throughout this video. In this locomotive, a total 36 sensors are there to control the different safety parameters like speed, pressure, temperature, current and voltage, out of which these 6 pressure sensors are located in the nose compartment: brake pipe pressure sensor, brake cylinder pressure sensor, booster air pressure sensor, lube oil pressure sensor, fuel oil pressure sensor and main reservoir pressure sensor. Let's move to the second compartment, loco-pilot cab. 2 control stands are there. Control stand 1 will be in operation if we are going towards the short hood side, while control stand 2 will be in operation if we are going towards the long hood direction. In other words, this locomotive follows left-hand driving system. Everything is common in these 2 control stands like throttle handle, reverser handle and braking handle, etc. except 4 circuit breakers. Multiple unit shutdown switch MUSD 1 located on control stand 1 and 2 located on control stand 2. Master fuel pump breaker 1 and 2. Master control breaker 1 and 2. Generator field cutout switch 1 and 2. 2 water level indicators are installed in this locomotive. One electronic type is located in the loco-pilot cab and another mechanical type is located on the outside wall of radiator room. They will tell us the level of water present in the expansion tanks. For lighting purpose in the cab, a dome light is installed at the roof of the cab. For emergency braking of the train, apart from the regular train brake A9, 2 RS flap wall, also known as D1 flap wall, is given in the cab, just behind the control stands. To stop the train immediately, this wall is used. Another brake, handbrake, is there, which is used for proper stabling of the locomotive when it is not running, just like in our 4-wheeler cars. In WDM3D Locomotive, handbrake is given in the loco-pilot cab. Let's see the nomenclature of the wheels. This side is loco left side, hence the wheels are named as L1 to L6 from short hood to long hood. Similarly, right side wheels named as R1 to R6 from short hood to long hood. Now come to the handbrake again, which is located in the loco-pilot cab on the wall of the nose compartment. By the use of handbrakes, we are applying the brakes manually on the 2 wheels R1 and R2 to avoid the roll down of the locomotive. Next compartment is control compartment, which is further divided into 3 sub-compartments: front panel, inside the front panel and back panel. On front panel, all the circuit breakers, computer screen, battery ammeter, engine start button, engine stop button, engine control switch, etc. are there. Inside of the front panel, Medha Excitation Propulsion MEP660 computer main unit, VCD disable and memory freeze unit. All the relays, BKT and reverser contactors are there. On back panel, fuel pump contactor, pre-lubrication pump contactor and some sensors like ambient air temperature sensor, altitude pressure sensor, RCD, reverse current diode, etc. are there. Next compartment consists of our second electrical rotating machine, which converts mechanical energy, rotary motion produced by the engine, into electrical energy, electricity. Yes, you are correct. This machine is known as generator, but here the machine is alternator, which is connected to the main crankshaft of the engine. What is the basic difference between alternator and generator? Comment down below. In this locomotive, traction motors are used to convert the electricity generated by this alternator into rotary motion of the wheels. On the same shaft, a bull gear of 102 teeth is attached. With this bull gear, we are able to transmit the rotary motion further into 3 gears of having 43 teeth each. One of the gear is used to run FTTM, front truck traction motor blower, which is used to cool down 3 traction motors mounted on bogie 1 in undertruck, each on every axle. Second gear of having 43 teeth rotates our third electrical rotating machine, which is auxiliary generator. Auxiliary generator is a self-excited DC generator used to excite the field of exciter, also used to charge the batteries of the loco, and also gives the supply to the control circuit, lighting circuit, etc. Third gear of having 43 teeth rotates our fourth electrical rotating machine, which is exciter generator. Auxiliary generator is a separately excited DC generator, but exciter generator is a self-excited DC generator used to excite the field of main alternator and also used as a motor at the time of cranking of the engine, just like prime mover system of a 4-wheeler car. This alternator room has the cyclonic filters both the side of the loco. Atmospheric air will get filtered in the cyclonic filters and then goes to the FTTM blower to cool down the traction motors. Now come to the next room. This room is where we generate power. Yes, engine room. Here Indian Railway used 16-cylinder, 4-stroke, V-type arrangement of diesel engine, having 12.5 compression ratio. This diesel engine has a main crankshaft, having total 8 crank pins. On each crank pin, 2 connecting rods are placed. Hence total 16 cylinders fires one by one in a proper sequence to get the motion of connecting rods, which further gets converted into rotary motion of this main crankshaft, and by utilizing this rotary motion into a big alternator, we are able to get electricity to run the traction motors. One end of this main crankshaft is obviously connected to the alternator, but through a split gear of 52 teeth. As you know, in order to get all the 4 strokes, suction, compressor, power and exhaust strokes, we have to operate suction valves, delivery valves and fuel injectors, and this is simply done by a camshaft. Here 2 camshafts are used, each having the controls of 8 cylinders. These camshafts are rotated by the camshaft gears, which are kept in mesh with this split gear. And in any diesel engine, speed of the camshaft should be half of the main crankshaft. Here also you can see the gear ratio of split gear and camshaft gear. Other end of this main crankshaft is connected to the vibration damper and fast coupling, on which an extension shaft gear is mounted having 79 number of teeth. This gear is kept in mesh with 2 gears, one water pump gear 46 teeth and another lube oil pump gear 67 teeth. The function of the water pump is to circulate the water in the cooling water system, which is used for the cooling of the heated parts of the engine, and the function of the lube oil pump is to circulate the lube oil in the lube oil system, which is used for the lubrication and cooling of the different rotating parts of the engine. Okay, so this engine has a V-type arrangement of 16 cylinders, out of which 8 cylinders are kept at left side of the loco but named as R1 to R8 from long hood to short hood. Similarly, the other 8 cylinders are kept at right side of the loco but named as L1 to L8 from long hood to short hood. Here the firing order of the cylinders is very much important in order to cancel the generated negative forces and to get the maximum balanced output power. All 16 cylinders will fire one by one at the interval of 45-degree rotation of the crankshaft. Here firing order is 1476, 8523 right to left. With this we are able to get engine horsepower 3300 HP. Engine idle speed is 400 rpm and engine maximum speed is 1050 rpm. At the start we have discussed engine left and engine right side. Here not only for the cylinders but for all the components from the alternator room followed by the engine room to the compressor room. We will tell their location as per the engine left and right side and not as per the loco left and right side. So this is the engine right side and this is the engine left side. For example, if I ask you what is the location of water pump gear, then the answer will be engine left side free end. Let's see some more important parts location. For lubrication purpose, our crankshaft is kept in the crankcase filled with the lube oil. But when the temperature of the lube oil increases, it generates gases. And that time, if crankcase exhauster motor is not working, then these gases could harm the engine block. That's why a safety fitting is provided on the engine block, named as explosion door. 2 spring-loaded explosion door is provided, one below L2 cylinder and other below R7 cylinder, for the protection of engine block. The alternator end side of the engine is known as power takeoff end, where the crankcase exhauster motor CCM and governor is located. The function of CCM, crankcase exhauster motor, is to remove the lube oil gases, and the function of governor is to maintain the speed of the engine as per the throttle notch given by the loco pilot. The compressor end side of the engine is known as free end, where turbo supercharger, aftercooler and over-speed trip assembly OST is located. The function of turbo supercharger is to supply the air into the engine cylinder having pressure more than atmospheric pressure. Because of this, we are getting more power due to the burning of more fuel in the cylinder. This TSC has 4 casings: gas inlet casing, turbine casing, intermediate casing and blower casing. What we are doing here is, we are utilizing the pressure of the exhaust gases to run the turbine, which is further connected to the blower, and from the rotation of the blower, we are able to provide pressurized air into the cylinder. But one problem is there. Due to the increase in pressure of the air, the temperature of air also increases. And as we know from thermodynamics subject, the temperature of inlet air should be as low as possible to get the maximum efficiency and power. Hence, we are using an aftercooler to cool down the temperature of the inlet air before entering into the engine cylinder. OSTA, Over Speed Trip Assembly, is a safety device for the engine. Due to any reason, when the engine RPM surpasses its own maximum limit RPM, then this OSTA cuts the fuel supply and stops the engine without giving any signal. At the engine right side, 3 filters are there. First one is cage strainer, which filters the fuel just coming out from the fuel tank. Second one is primary filter, which further filters the fuel coming from the cage strainer. Then this clean fuel, free from dust and dirt particles, goes to the fuel pump motor, located in the next room, compressor room, where it gets pumped and then again goes to the secondary filter for micro level cleaning of the fuel before entering into the engine cylinder. We can also identify these filters with their sizes apart from their location. The smallest one is cage strainer and the largest one is primary filter. One strainer is also there in the engine room at engine left side for cleaning of the lubrication oil circulated in the system. The location of 2 safety valves are also important. Fuel oil pressure relief valve, located at engine right side, whose function is to relieve the excess fuel oil pressure generated by the pump, and another one, fuel oil pressure regulating valve, located at engine left side, whose function is to regulate the level of the fuel oil pressure throughout the system. Similar to the fuel oil pressure safety valves, lube oil pressure safety valves, relief and regulating, are also there to control the lube oil pressures. This lube oil is filled inside the crankcase engine block, and one dipstick gauge is located below the cylinders at the center to check the level of the lube oil. The capacity of complete lube oil system is 1210 liters. So this was the engine room. Let's see compressor room. In all the diesel locomotives, the compressor is directly coupled with the main crankshaft. Yes, it will not run separately, but simultaneously with the engine. Hence, no any manual on-off switch is there for compressor. This is compressor shaft on which 2 low pressure cylinders and 1 high pressure cylinder is mounted. On the other side, one cooling fan is installed with the help of flexible coupling, as this is an air-cooled compressor. Function of the compressor is to suck the air from atmosphere through these cyclonic filters and filling the main reservoir with the compressed air, so that we can use this compressed air for horn, wipers, sanders and largely for braking purposes. In this room at engine left side, one intercooler is there for cooling the compressed air and one low water switch for sensing the level of water present in the expansion tanks of radiator room, and one water drain cock for draining the water of expansion tanks. In this room at engine right side, one dipstick gauge for checking the level of oil present in the compressor crankcase, one FPM fuel pump motor for pumping the fuel from fuel tank to engine cylinder, and a PLPM pre-lubrication pump motor for lubrication of various parts of engine by using battery supply. Be careful here, this pump will only work before starting and after shutting down of the engine, while that pump which we have seen in the engine room having gear of 79 teeth, that will work only when the engine is running, as its gear is directly kept in mesh with the main crankshaft. Again at engine right side in the compressor room, we have a temperature gauge who shows the temperature of cooling water, engine water temperature sensor who senses the temperature of cooling water. Because of this sensor, when the cooling water temperature reaches to 90 degrees Celsius, we get the hot engine alarm in the locopilot cab. Now last room is radiator room. In the alternator room, we saw one gear operated FTTM, front truck traction motor blower, which cools traction motor number 1, 2 and 3. Another one RTTM, rear truck traction motor blower, is located in the radiator room, but instead of gear connections with the crankshaft, this one has the belt connections with the crankshaft, having total 6 V belts. This blower cools remaining traction motors, traction motor number 4, 5 and 6. Now this room is radiator room, so obviously we will be having radiators, in which hot water becomes cold water. One radiator fan for more circulation of the air connected to the crankshaft with the help of buell gear mechanism, and 2 expansion tanks for storage of the water. Apart from this, lube oil cooler and lube oil filter drum is also kept in this room. So this was the complete superstructure mechanical parts of this locomotive. Let's see quickly the undertruck of this locomotive. To show the exact location of the undertruck parts on a 2D diagram is not possible, hence try to focus more on number of parts and consider these locations as approximate locations of these parts. In WDM3D locomotive, high adhesion modified coco bogie is fitted. Coco bogie means a bogie with 3 axles and 3 traction motors. Now in every locomotive, 2 bogies are there. First we will see bogie number 1. So 3 axles, 6 wheels, connected with 8 equalizing beam. 4 brake cylinders for controlling of 12 brake block and shoe. Each cylinder controls 3 brake blocks, hence applying the brakes on 1.5 wheel by each cylinder. 8 helical spring to get the suspension and 4 D-cycle for holding the superstructure and undertruck together. 4 vertical shock absorber and 2 horizontal or angled shock absorber. And for carrying the whole load of locomotive, 4 side load bearers are there on each bogie. 2 of them are outer side load bearers. They carry 15% of total load, while remaining 2 are inner side load bearers who carry 10% of total load. Hence each bogie carries 50% of total load. At center, one center pivot is there who does not carry any weight but transmit the traction and braking forces. On every axle, traction motors are placed with the help of roller bearings, but the face of traction motor gear is kept at loco left side on bogie 1 while loco right side on bogie 2 for proper balancing of the loads. So this was the bogie 1. Exactly similar parts will be there in bogie 2 also, except the position of traction motor gear case. In bogie 1 it will be on loco left side, while in bogie 2 it will be on loco right side. Next, 2 main reservoirs MR are kept at loco left side for storage of compressed air coming from compressor. And finally, this empty area. Any guesses what should be kept here? Yes, the fuel tank. High speed diesel is filled in this tank. Total capacity 6000 liters. So this was the undertruck of this locomotive. More parts like safety fittings, safety valves, brake assembly parts are also there, but not discussing them here, otherwise the length of the video will increase more. I hope you found this video very helpful. Come, join India's most exciting workplace, Indian Railways, lifeline of the nation, and be a part of this family. If you want to support me for making more such videos, then subscribe the channel. Soon I will do a Q&A session video, so if you have any questions or doubts regarding anything, you can ask me in the comment section of this video. Till then, keep moving forward and always remember this, you are awesome. Finally, thanks for watching. This is Indresh signing off. See you in my next video.